Imagine this. You are driving home from a friend's house. All of a sudden, you see some red and blue lights flashing behind you, and you get pulled over for a minor traffic violation. You know what? The officer, he seems nice enough. During the stop, he asked to secure your firearm, and you complied. But now he's asking to search your vehicle. He's asking you all sorts of questions that you don't think are related to the reason why he stopped you. What do you do? And the wrong decision could end up with you being in handcuffs. Hi, I'm attorney Marc Lopez. I'm going to spend the next few minutes just talking about what you can expect when you are pulled over for a traffic stop and you are a legal gun owner. So let's jump right in. The bad news is, number one, the officer is likely going to be able to secure your firearm. Wait, Marc, this is America. You can't just be taking firearms from people. I get it. But the requirements for an officer to secure your gun are very minimal. Now, to be very, very clear, most states have laws. An officer can't just take a gun at a traffic stop for no reason. That's not how the law is in most states. But if an officer knows or suspects you're armed and he determines you to be dangerous, well, then in the name of officer safety, they are allowed to secure that weapon to make it safe for the officer. And that's the law. Now, you can disagree with me on that, but that's okay. I love disagreement. Do so in the comments, but that is the law. Now, a lot of you are going to be saying, well, I'm not dangerous. We got nothing to worry about. And if he tries to take my gun, that's unconstitutional. I get it. But the bar for the dangerous person requirement to secure your weapon is very, very low. I'm going to give you a few examples of what the courts have said are okay in an officer determining if a person may or may not be dangerous. And there's just a few here. There's a lot more. How about excessive nervousness? Because, the officer on the street can figure out who's nervous or not and whether that nervous is appropriate. That's ridiculous. Odd clothing choices. If you're wearing a coat in the summer, you very well might be a dangerous person. If you give conflicting answers to the officer's questions or what the officer perceives to be conflicting answers, maybe because you're nervous, maybe because you're a criminal, who knows? But it's conflicting answers. How about evasive answers to questions? People in the comments of my other videos love to say, don't plead the fifth. Put on there, I don't answer questions. Hey, you know what? That could be used against you in a court, and it's possible it could be used against you for this dangerous person requirement. You know what else is okay? The time must stop, because bad things happen late at night, right? People coming home from working late shift. How about the location of the stop? If it's a high crime area, so there's the expectation the person I'm pulling over might be dangerous. Suspicious bulges, body movements, and there's plenty of other reasons that officers can say that fulfill the requirement for them saying, hey, we thought they might be dangerous. Now, again, if an officer asks to secure your weapon during the stop, it's almost always in your best interest to comply. And I suspect there's a few courts out there that would say the refusal of a person to let an officer secure their firearm during a traffic stop, well, that's suspicious and possibly dangerous behavior anyway. Bottom line is, in my opinion, the officer is going to be able to secure your firearm during a traffic stop. I would not mess around with firearms and the police. That just has disaster spelled all over it. Don't do that to yourself. Now, the first thing, before the officer even stops you, you must know what type of state you're in. There are 3 different types of states. The first states are, you have a duty to disclose that you have a firearm. If the officer walks up to you, you gotta be like, officer, I have a firearm. I don't like those states. I think that's unconstitutional, but hey, I'm not in charge. The second type of state is, you must tell the officer truthfully if you have a firearm, if the officer asks. So if the officer says, hey, you have weapons on you tonight? Yes, I have my firearm, which I have a permit on. And there's a third type of state, like Indiana, you don't have to tell anybody anything. Even if they ask, you can say, I plead the fifth. Don't lie to an officer. Never lie to an officer. That could be a charge by itself. But you can say, I plead the fifth. You don't have to disclose, even if asked. And I probably wouldn't disclose if I was asked, because, hey, you know what? When an officer knows there's a firearm involved, it's going to raise those tensions. And if you say, I plead the fifth, well, that's going to raise some tensions too, but at least you're still protecting yourself by not talking. The officer understands you know your rights. Think about that. Now, during a traffic stop, if an officer asks about a weapon and he knows you have a weapon on you because he can see it or you've told him, and he asks to secure the weapon, I would oblige him. And the reason why, again, we've already talked about it, it's a very low burden for them to be able to secure the weapon legally. So I would agree to them securing the weapon during the traffic stop. Now, what I would not do is I would not handle that weapon in any capacity in the presence of an officer. Even if he asks, hey, Marc, please hand me that weapon so I can secure it during this stop. No, 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 no. I'm not handing a weapon to an officer. I'm not going to touch a weapon. I would say, officer, weapon is in there. You are more than welcome to get it, but I'm not going to touch that weapon right now. The reason why If you're holding a weapon in officer's presence, grounds for almost anything to happen, and courts, more likely than not, on the officer's safety and qualified immunity are going to say that's A-OK. Will never handle a weapon in the presence of an officer. You can get it, officer. Oh, it's on you? Well, I'll step out of the car and you can get it from my body. Do not touch that weapon in the officer's presence. And that goes the same way. At the end of the stop, officer, may I have my weapon so I can get out of here? Just place it on the back seat for me, officer. Again, don't have him hand it to your hand. I'll just hand it to you. No. You ain't gonna fool me. Don't do that to yourself. Now, having a weapon does not change any of the normal traffic stop stuff. In most states, including Indiana and almost every state I know of, when you're stopped for a traffic violation, you have to give your name, address, your date of birth, or your driver's license. You have to have a driver's license to operate a vehicle on the roads. I know a lot of you disagree with me on that. The right to travel, Mark. The right to travel does not allow you to drive without a driver's license. That's not what it is. I'm not driving, Mark. I'm traveling. Just stop. Just stop. That's not what that's about. Okay, so give that information to the officer, and they're allowed to ask questions. They're allowed to do anything they want. Now, without additional evidence or articulable reasons, they can't extend the original traffic stop. So don't let them extend it. They ask you questions. Where are you coming from? Where are you going? You've been to a bar tonight. Anything to drink? I played the fifth, I played the fifth, I played the fifth, I played the fifth. And a lot of the go-to officer's favorite. Hey, anything illegal in the vehicle? No, officer, there's not. Well, cool, you wouldn't mind me taking a look then, right? So don't even answer that first question. Just simply say, anything illegal in the vehicle? I plead the fifth. I know it seems like you're being obtuse or maybe confrontational, but you're not exercising your rights. You literally have no idea what's in your vehicle. I mean, you weren't with it 24/7. You just weren't. It's very likely your vehicle is unattended most of the day, either at work or at home. Maybe you passed by it a few times, but it's impossible for you to know 100% certainty everything in your vehicle. It's not possible. So don't tell the officer nothing illegal in the vehicle. You don't know that. Do you have a little cousin drive? Did somebody borrow it? Did somebody sleep in there when you weren't looking? Who knows? Don't say things that you don't know to be 100% true. And don't answer questions of officers. I don't consent to searches. Only a guilty person would say that. Or someone that loves freedom. Don't let them make you feel guilty of exercising your rights. Just don't. If they continue to ask questions of you, simply state, I plead the fifth. I don't consent to a search. I want an attorney. And then you can also sprinkle in there, am I free to leave? I would probably sprinkle that in there as soon as they come back and with the ticket, hand it to you. Or if they come ask you questions before the ticket gets in there, be like, officer, am I free to leave? Saying the words, am I free to leave? That's your way of letting the officer know that you know he's on the clock and you better get the ball rolling. And you're not going to put up with any extension of this stop nonsense. Keep that in mind. Sometimes letting people know you know your rights is enough. Again, don't be a jerk about things. I wouldn't do that. That doesn't help anything. You know your rights. Don't be shy about exercising them. And if an officer is any good, you shouldn't hold that against you. In fact, the officers that get mad at you exercising your rights, I would say they're the ones you need to exercise your rights with every single time. At the end of the traffic stop, you want to ask the officer, hey, please, officer, will you please retrieve my weapon for me so I can be on my way? Again, if he tries to hand it to you, I would simply say, officer, I prefer you put it in the back seat or place it on the passenger seat. I'll secure it when it's there. And I would not touch that until he drives away. Just please, trust me on that. Do not hand the weapon in front of a police officer. It just has recipe for disaster all over it. Just because you have a firearm on your person when you're driving does not automatically mean you have a loss of your right of privacy and the right against illegal searches and seizures. Now, if you watched this far, you must like me a little bit. I sure would like it if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment. You can put on there, hey, Mark, you're awesome. Or put on there, hey, Mark, I disagree with you because X, Y, and Z. Please don't write on there, you don't need a license to drive a vehicle in this country. You have the right to travel. You don't. The right to travel is not your ability to drive unlicensed on these roads. This is not. Someone is still going to put that comment on there. I know it. If you have nothing else to write, let me know what celebrity you think I remind you of. Tuco, Turtle, Joe Pesci, John Leguizamo. I'm saying his name wrong. He was a Super Mario Brother movie. Okay, that's it. If you were facing charges in Indiana, give us a call, 317-632-3642. We would love to talk to you about your rights. I know we can help you. But most importantly, remember to always plead the fifth.